be passed soon for you, honey.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be the right thing for you. And I wondered when you said you got a Z-Pack because that's usually what they give me for a sinus infection or something. Uh, but not for what you were having. So anyway, um,
I'm so glad to be with my family here.
yep, we're glad to be with you too, honey.
So
So
glad.
welcome everybody. It's good to see you all. And we're going to go ahead and get the screen share up. We are still in the clarification of terms, and we had just started last week with number 2, the ego, the miracle. And I think we actually maybe got through one paragraph. I'm going to turn off my camera so my computer doesn't die on me. Uh, so, so we were talking about the ego and the miracle. And so we are on paragraph 2, I believe. And this is a good place to start. Who would like to read? What is the ego? What is the ego?
I'll take it.
Thank you, Rafi.
What is the ego? Nothingness, but in a form that seems like something. In a world of form, the ego cannot be denied, for it alone seems real. Yet could God's Son, as he created him, abide in a form or in a world of form? Who asks you to define the ego and explain how it arose? Can be but he who thinks it real and seeks by definition to ensure that its elusive nature is concealed behind the words that seem to make it so. Oh boy. That is so, that is so typically egoic like that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, how Jesus is like, well, okay, only if you think it's real would you even ask about it. So, let's start from there. Because what is the ego? Nothingness, but in a form that seems like something. That's a great description of, my life. It seems like something's going on, but in reality, nothing is going on. So yeah, the ego can't be denied. It seems like it's so real, and yet, could it be possible that the thing that God created as perfect and whole and sinless and happy and what we truly are, how could it be possible that we could live in a world where everything is fear and fear, the fear of death, because it comes about from the belief in form. So it's the ego thinks it's got us. Is death is the only uh, thing we can expect in this world, in this body, from this ego. So he doesn't mention that in here, but but when it comes right down to it, that's what the whole thing about the world of form is. It's based on death. Glorian, please go ahead.
Yeah, this is what is the ego? Nothingness, but in a form that seems like something. Seemingly, we think it's something. In a world of form, the ego cannot be denied, for it alone seems real. So seemingly we're having this experience. Seemingly we're having the experience of a total world of form, the body, and everything that's separate from the oneness that we really are. Yet could God's Son, as he created him, abide in a form, in a world of form? We are created as in the likeness of God, which is spirit. So could that really abide in a form or in a world of form? Could it be contained? Because it's everywhere. Who asked you to define the ego and explain how it arose can be but he who thinks it's real. So it's the ego asking the question and seeks by definition to ensure that its elusive nature is concealed behind the words that seem to make it real, to make it so. Illusory, deceptive, elusive nature, hidden behind words, symbols that seem to make it real. And it's actually that experience of oneness beyond those projected concepts that is real, how we were created by God in his likeness spirit. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Glory. And yeah, how can we have convinced ourselves that we're not what we are? How can we have done that? That's what this is asking. Do you think it's possible you did? And oh yeah, because I can watch a television show or a movie and see a character going through something, and I go through it myself. I experience it myself, like as if it was happening to me. Now, that sounds really crazy. I'm sure you're thinking, well, that sounds nuts, Lynn, but it's true. We watch these things because we vicariously are living our life with this character. And that's exactly what we're doing here. It's a vicarious life that we're living with a character that seems to be real. But how could it be? Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, I love the line at the bottom. It says to ensure that its elusive nature is concealed behind the words. And the flip side of the, of course, ego is duality about everything, is look at me, look at me, look at me, like me, like me, give me that, give me that. Don't hurt me, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. But so there's concealed, and then there's the other side. Ego becomes more and more obvious and more easy to just disperse. The more you see what it isn't.
Thank you, Rafi. Yeah, that's it exactly. John Sunday, please go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm just going to jump in with my 5 cents, and it kind of goes back to what Rafi was talking about, his friend with the self-love issue. And really it boils down to this, that self is the ego. So yeah, the ego does have a problem with self-love because that's not what its job is. Its job is to show us hatred. We need to be in contact with the hatred that's in us that will release the love. And the ego's not about that. The ego just wants its business is to keep the fear, guilt, and hatred going. And so basically, from my perspective here, just to realize that, yeah, the illusory nature is keeping the ego in business. Anytime I put self in front of anything, like especially love, like oh my God, do you think the ego is going to fall in love with anything? Not too soon. But anyway, from my perspective, is love is something that we can is a quality of God, and it's a quality that we have when we fall in love and stuff like that. I heard John Mundy talking about that. When we fall in love, we experience this, and it's a quality of God that we can cultivate. But it's or loving. We can be more loving and just focus on those kind of things, and the most loving thing we can do is expose the ego for its gig on the self-hatred stuff, because it's just not true. So bit by bit, inch by inch, it knocks that elusive nature that is concealed. So yeah, we get in touch with the true nature of ourselves. And I know one thing for sure. I don't have no idea the qualities of God, but I know one thing that we do share is love. So there may be a whole host of other qualities that completely beyond human capacity. I don't know, but we do know what love is to a degree, and to the degree that we can expand it and do everything possible to cultivate it. Hey, we're in business for the Holy Spirit. Anyway, that's it. Rambling on.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's no rambling. That was perfect, and you bring it into the question about what is this love, because of course Jesus tells us we really can't know, the ego can't know what love is. It's impossible for the ego to understand love or to know love, because the ego, I think does he actually say in here in the book somewhere that the ego is pure hate? I think I've heard that before, whether it's said or not. But maybe we just read it. I'm not sure either. But you know, the fact is that whatever is uh whatever is not in agreement with the law of love doesn't really exist. It's impossible. So, you know, if we think that that the ego can love or the ego can change, I guess it can change somewhat because it has to in order to accept the atonement. You know, that's really what's going to accept the atonement, not not Lynn, not wait a minute, not the Holy Son of God, because the Holy Son of God already has accepted the atonement and is the atonement. So the only thing that needs to accept it is the person I think I am, which is the ego, which is this nothingness. And you know, excuse me, while you were speaking, it just came to my mind the idea that um, everything that we think we are, and I'm just putting this out there for a thought. Everything we think we are is something that we've been told, or something that we have imagined or made up a story about. So, you know, you look at the most obvious things. I think I'm a human being. I think I'm female. I think I'm you know, a wife and a mother, and I think I'm an engineer, and I think I'm a this and I, you know, all these things that I think I am are not really what I am at all. None of it has anything to do with what I really am. So all of those things, woman, body, human, mother, engineer, all those things are the ego. All of that is the ego. None of it is what I really am. None of these things I think I am is what I am. You know, I'm Lynn who loves the color blue. No, I'm not. I'm the Holy Spirit that loves everything. I don't differentiate between these things. But but my mind, you know, thinks that all these things, all these definitions are what I am. And they're the nothingness in a form that seems like something. Does anybody have any thoughts about that? All right, well, maybe we'll go on to the next paragraph and see if you're all in agreement. Yes. What I am is nothing that thinks it's something. All the definitions of myself and my life are meaningless. Nothing in a form that seems like something. Wow. Welcome to Thursday. Okay. So who would like to read paragraph 3?
I will.
Okay, great. Thank you.
There is no definition for a lie that serves to make it true, nor can there be a truth that lies concealed effectively. The ego's unreality is not denied by words, nor is its meaning clear, because its nature seems to have a form. Who can define the undefinable? Who can define the undefinable? And yet there is an answer even here. Wow. Wow. Well, this is deep, Lynn.
Yes, it is, sir. Rafi, please go ahead.
Well, it's just something I've been taught over and over again. The ego mind can't understand what is beyond it. It's like the finite can't understand the infinite. So it can't possibly know what the truth is. All it can do is keep regurgitating the same data and information that it knows. All of that is duality. I mean, you talk about the difference between the state of pure love and an ego is narcissism. They couldn't be further opposites from each other. And so it can't, who can define the undefinable? Certainly ego can't. And the undefinable is the truth of what we are. Just that the ego mind can't possibly know it, understand it, have even a clue of what it is. So it looks for it in this dream, looks for answers in this dream, and there are no answers in the dream. Just lessons to be learned, and it doesn't learn the lessons. We got to learn the lessons.
Yeah, thank you for that, Rafi. Yeah, it's just, when you think about it, this really is a riddle here. This really is a riddle. He's asking a question. And he's saying there is an answer here. Can you figure it out? Can we figure it out? Or can we understand it if we're told it? Because I think he's told it to us over and over and over. And we look at it, we say, yep, I got that. Yep, I got that. Okay, the world is an image. These are images I have made. Okay. Yep, there's images all around me. I see them. We don't go deep enough into the I have made this. I have made this, and we're in a box. The box is closed on all sides. There is no light in the box, and we're imagining something outside of the box. And we can't know what is outside of the box. We've never been outside of the box. We don't know what's out there, but we think that there is something. We just don't have enough information to get outside of the box. That's why they always talk about getting outside of the box, because I'm sure you all know the story of what outside of the box means. They draw a box on a whiteboard, and they say, there's a problem. You got to figure out the problem. You're stuck in the box, and the only way to solve the problem, and it's actually a line problem, like longer lines or whatever, being able to connect lines together. You have to move outside of the box. You have to draw a line outside of the box to make it connect the right way. So that's what he's asking us to do. Draw a line outside of the box, see what's out of there, and stop accepting the lies as truth. Stop concealing the truth from yourself by believing, even a little bit, believing the story about what you think you are, what I think I am, what I think you are, what I think the world is. It's something outside of the box. John, Sunday, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for thinking outside the box. That's a great concept. And I also want to thank Rafi, because I mean, when I read that, I mean, that I was totally inside the box, but I think you were pretty darn clear what you said as you were speaking, and it came to me. But what you're saying to me here now, and then is what it strikes to me is it's the story that's we've been told. And I saw it yesterday. Somebody made a quote that the most powerful story ever told is the one we tell ourselves. And we've told ourselves the story, and it's really like a kid, with a bunch of alibis when its mother asks him what's gone, about something that's indefensible, and they non-stop alibis. It's just on and on and on and on, and the stories never end. But it's just it's a kid's story. So I think you're right. It's about changing the story. Like coming to the outside the box is taking responsibility for the story, taking responsibility for my story, and owning it, and then telling myself a different story, because then that will be more powerful, so, and a more loving one, and more in line with the intent to have peace and innocence. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, and would you think that better, happier story is what Jesus calls the happy dream? That we begin to see that the world that as we define it and the roles as we define them and the situations as we define them, we begin to see that those are a construct and not really what's happening here. And so where once we saw death and destruction, we can begin to see peace and love, not because anything has changed. It's the change in our vision that we're seeing. It's just like if you were, I don't know, maybe somebody came from another planet or something, didn't know anything about the world, came here and landed at a hockey game. I'll say hockey because I'm a big hockey fan. Landed at a hockey game, and sit down and watch these guys running around on these ice skates, batting at each other with these sticks and throwing this little puck around and banging themselves into the boards and sometimes taking and stopping and punching each other out and having a whole little battle. And what are these aliens who know nothing of this, what do they see? Are they seeing, oh, look, it's a game and they're having a great time? Or are they seeing, wow, it's this vicious battle, and these are under cruel conditions, and they have to do it on ice on little skinny skates, and they don't. I mean, this is just coming to my mind, this whole vision of watching a hockey game with the idea of not being entertained and not being excited and happy about it, but seeing it as a real bloodbath going on. That's the difference from the happy dream, from the dream that we're having right now, or that I'm having right now anyway, because I'm looking at a world and I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on, and I'm scared. I think, these guys are going to destroy each other. Bad things can happen. But, people who go to hockey games, they're going to watch that. They're entertained by all of that. Not everybody. I mean, it's not, that's kind of a exaggeration, but people do, boxing or martial arts, mixed martial arts, which my family is very involved in. I mean, people get the crap beat out of them, literally are getting beat up, and people are laughing and watching and cheering, and it's a whole different point of view. And I'm probably not making my point. Maybe I'm trying too hard to make my point. Anyway, I'm going to shut up, and I think it's just a matter of definition. I think that's what Jesus is talking about here. It's a matter of definition. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to share? All right, I got you all tuning into the hockey game now. It's not on yet. Okay. All right. Well, let's look at paragraph 4 and see if we can come up with some other. Who would like to read paragraph 4?
I will.
Thank you, honey.
We cannot really make a definition for what the ego is, but we can say what it is not. And this is shown to us with perfect clarity. It is from this that we deduce all that the ego is. Look at its opposite, and you can see the only answer that is meaningful. And that is to say love, which is like, and not a love that I understood before. Because every human love, I'm on this word kick of human, not being human, but every human relationship that I recalled before A Course in Miracles was always based on getting something from, and it's very evident in any relationship. and I love this whole giving and receiving are one, and having that experience of it is even really neat. I mean, we went and did, my son was getting a marketplace thing, and I went with him because it was on the other side of the city, and just to have the drive with him too. And anyway, these people were just like, it was such an amazing exchange we had with these people. Like, I ended up leaving hugging this lady, never met them before in our lives, but it just became evident that, there's no mistakes in anything. And like, Ash ended up really happy because he got to have some of these things for his collection, and they're happy because they got to give, it was easier for them to just get to sell all of them, and he got a really good deal. So it was just this neat, it was a really neat exchange. And it was funny because when the negotiating was happening, the seller is giving a price and the buyer is saying, no, 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 we'll give you a higher price. It was quite cute. I was like, now this is neat to see. It's the opposite way here. So yeah, anyway, love, 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 love. All we need is love. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Odzi. And yes, it's what it absolutely changes the experience. Where once you had an experience or thought you were going to have an experience that might not be the most joyful thing, when you come into it with the expression of love, it can be very joyful. And I have to say, for myself personally, um, I've had in the past financial difficulties and had to talk to people who are bill collectors on the phone quite often. Um, and uh, you know, for a while, I was not happy about it. I was upset about it, not feeling anything happy or good about it. But then I started really looking at, who these people were that I was talking to and what their situation was. And, I became aware that, they are just doing their job just as I was trying to do my job, and everybody was trying to do the best they could. And so whenever I would start talking with them, I would reach to them, in my mind, I would reach to them in a human way to connect with them in a real way that was not just a business matter, but a human interaction. And being able to do that was then able to move from having really fearful times talking to these people to it was almost like, I'm so happy you called, and thank you for being there, and you're doing a great job. And I mean, really, really connecting with them in a way that was real and human and loving, and that I knew for a fact that they too were experiencing a heartfelt relationship with me, not just, some customer that was going to, cry or cuss them out or tell them they were wrong or whatever it is that they usually get. They were actually getting a relationship. And I'm not exaggerating by saying that. I I reach out to have a relationship with everyone I deal with because I can't not now. I can't not. I can't just see other people as some form. I really do see them as part of my life, and their well-being is important to me, as important as my well-being is, believe it or not. Believe it or not. And so I don't know how that got moved, but just saying that uh we'll look at its opposite and you'll see the only answer that's meaningful. We have to look for the opposite in everything that happens. And so the next paragraph, unless somebody else has something they'd like to share, please put up your hand if you like to share something. Or if, I'm ringing a bell or boring you to tears, I don't know which. But let's look at this next paragraph. He says the ego's opposite in every way. In origin, effect, and consequence, we call a miracle. And here we find all that is not the ego in this world. Here is the ego's opposite, and here alone we look on what the ego was, for here we see that that all that it seemed to do and cause and its effects must still be one. So that's it. The ego's opposite in every way is the miracle. And I think, ba-da-ba-bum, that's all you need to know. Because then just whatever happened, just look for the opposite. Whatever seems to be going wrong, just turn to the Holy Spirit and look for the opposite. It's there. It has never left. It has never changed. It's always been. That's what the miracle is. It's a decision to join. It's a decision to act with love. It's a decision to look with love and to expect love and to receive love. It's not just a matter of giving love, it's a matter of actually receiving love. Brooklyn, please go ahead.
Namaste, mighty companions. I'm leaving my picture off. uh, what you're saying, I was able to get a good look at ego today when, between the medication, I'm giving me the wrong medication, and just the whole thing, and then I couldn't get the medication to the pharmacy. So I wrote this little poem called Nerves on Edge. Like you said, look for the opposite, right? Okay. Let me write of fear and sadness. It is as it intrudes on my peace. It pulls me toward claims of doubt when I am in the arms of God. With each time and time, may all be used in remembrance of the real. Let trust soothe all that hurts. No need for thought, as it is known. Let calm quench nerves on fire. It is okay, no matter what. Oh my, did I mute myself? Did I finish the poem?
Oh yeah, no, you finished the poem.
Heard
Yeah,
you
no,
perfectly.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm just,
thank you.
I was muted. I was just saying, wow, 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 wow. That was beautiful, Ann.
Oh,
That
thank you.
was really beautiful.
You could still call me Brooklyn. I just can't change my name anymore.
Not sure why. Let me do it for you.
Lynn/Brooklyn is good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It was good to take a good look at the ego and be with I was freaking. I was, like on the phone with them, blah 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 blah. They said they sent the medicine, they didn't send the medicine. It's, but yeah, it was good. It's to talk out loud or to write about whatever shows up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it really is because you have to look at it, and talking about it or writing about it is actually looking at it. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, Brooklyn, that was beautiful. And it just again reminded me that everything is here is serving us. And if you look at ego right, the ego is also serving us. Everything in my life is going along swimmingly beautifully. And today it turned like crazy, and there was this physical stuff happening and all kinds of crazy things happening. And I looked at it and I said, that's the ego doesn't like things being really harmonious, and it's fighting back like crazy. Thank you, ego, for showing me that. I really appreciate it. I'll take over from here. Thank you very much. And I turned all of that negativity into the positive, the positivity that it was intended to be, and was able to let go of a lot of stuff. Never reacted to it, so it couldn't get me caught up in it. And again, I said, well, there's ego. It didn't realize it, but it just taught me a lovely lesson. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. Exactly. And who was it today that was talking about rebuking that that their Christian friends, was it you, Karen, that were saying, I rebuke this in the name of Jesus or in the name of the Lord or whatever. And really, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're rebuking the illusion. We're just saying, that ain't real, that ain't true, that doesn't has no effect on me. And I rebuke you in the name of the Lord. I had I just had to laugh at that thought because really, I mean, we are doing it too, you know. We're doing it too by just by recognizing this is not true. What I think is happening is not really true. It's the opposite of what's true. And we look for the opposite and we're going to find a miracle. Why? I mean, that's so simple. Why does it seem so hard? It's the simplest thing ever. No, I rebuke this. Oh, all right, let's go on to look at number 6. Oh, we are moving right along here. Who would like to read paragraph 6?
I would like to read it, Lynn.
Thank you, John.
Where there was darkness, now we see the light. What is the ego? What the darkness was. Where is the ego? Where the darkness was. What is it now, and where can it be found? Nothing and nowhere. Now the light has come. Its opposite has gone without a trace. Where evil was, there now is holiness. What is the ego? What the evil was. Where is the ego? In an evil dream that but seemed real while you were dreaming it. Where there was crucifixion stands God's Son. What is the ego? Who has need to ask? Where is the ego? Who has need to seek for an illusion now that the dreams have gone? That's so beautiful, isn't it? The dreams have gone. That's the miracle. We're going to focus on miracles here. Forget about that story. Waking up. That's a waking up story.
Yeah, thank you, John. I mean, he's really asking some very real questions, and I myself have a whole lot of yeah, but there's no yeah, but here. He's saying it doesn't exist. It's not there. It never was. When you turn on the light, where does the darkness go? Where does the darkness go? It goes nowhere. It never was. It it's always been the same thing. So uh it's nothing and nowhere. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to run away from. There's nothing to fight. There's nothing to argue with. I mean, oh my God, what would my life be if I wasn't arguing with my ego all day long? Arguing about what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what I want to think. I can leave this room in 1 minute and turn on the news and be right back into, whoa, there it is. The bad thing is happening again. Why? Why? why do I why do I want that? When it could be so simple. It could be so simple. Brooklyn, please go ahead.
Wow. Who has need to seek for an illusion now that dreams are gone? That reminds me of a poem I wrote yesterday. It's a little one. I call it, It Is Okay. It is okay, let it be. We rest in God, you and me. Love knows all in now, arms embrace this sacred vow. We are one, all else undone. That's it.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Brooklyn. Yes.
Thank you.
What a gorgeous poem. Wow, you are just a fond of them. John, did you have your hand up again, or did you just not take it down?
Yeah, no,
Um,
I have a little poem for you.
oh, good. Let's hear your poem.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Lynn, you got some competition here.
I love it. No competition. We work together. We walk each other home.
It's a poem that I learned from the guy who wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, but it speaks to this paragraph. It's that God and I in space alone, and nobody else in view. And where are the people, O Lord, I asked? The earth beneath, and the sky o'erhead, and the dead who once I knew. That was a dream, God smiled and said, a dream that has ceased to be. There are no people living or dead, and you yourself, you have never been. Then why do I feel no fear this way, meeting you here this way? For I have sinned, I know full well, and is there no heaven, and is there no hell? Nay, those were but dreams, the great God smiled. Dreams that have ceased to be. There is nothing at all but you and me. Amen.
Wow. That was really beautiful.
You heard that one before, Lynn?
No.
Richard Bach. Yeah, Duff put his name there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I had not heard that one before. That was really beautiful. I love it. So anybody else have any comments on this paragraph? Where there was crucifixion stands God's Son. He's really pointing out, what we thought he's pointing out what we thought he was not. That the being that we thought he was never existed. And what he is the light and what we are. Very interesting. Anybody else have anything on this particular paragraph?
It's just such a beautiful paragraph.
I know. It really is. It's just so clear and beautiful, and it is like a poem too. Really, it is. What is the ego? Where is the ego? What is the ego? Where is the ego? Who has need to ask? Who has need to ask? Well, obviously somebody who thinks the ego is real and is somewhere. So we're learning the truth. Paragraph 7, who would like to read paragraph 7? Rafi, please go ahead.
No, I just wanted to comment on what you just said about the ego, about asking those questions. The more you ask the questions and the ego has no answer for it, the quieter it gets. It's like another form of inquiry. What am I? Where does I come from? Who am I? What is the source of thoughts and feelings? There are no, the answer is there's only one truth. And the ego has no clue what the truth. So the more you ask those questions about the ego, the quieter it gets, because there is no, it has no reality, so it has no answers. And that's another great tool to quiet it and transcend it.
That's a great idea, because when your friend tells you about self-love, you ask who the hell is the self? That's the story. Who's the self? That's exactly right there.
Yeah, just never answer the question.
Yeah.
The answer is there is only one truth. And so by asking the questions will quiet that ego mind down really quickly. And that's a lovely thing. I can read this next paragraph if you like. It's number 7, right? Correct?
Yes, number 7. Thank you, Rafi.
What is a miracle? A dream as well. But look at all the aspects of this dream, and you will never question any more. Look at the kindly world you see extend before you as you walk in gentleness. Look at the helpers all along the way you travel, happy in the certainty of heaven and the surety of peace. And look an instant too on what you left behind at last and finally passed by. One of the things I keep reminding me is I'm constantly, lovingly supported every step of the way. That divine presence never goes anywhere and is helping us every single second. All we have to do is be open to it, and that whole ego thing will just dissolve away.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Rafi. Yes, the miracle is a dream also. This world is a dream. Miracles are not needed in heaven. They're only needed here. The only reason that we need them is because we've forgotten the truth about ourselves. And he says that the miracle is once you get it, you get it. Look at the kindly world you see extend before you as you walk in gentleness. Look at the helpers all along the way you travel. That's you, that's us, that's, everywhere we look, I always go for Mr. Rogers, who his mother told him, look for the helpers. And that's all you have to do. You look, oh, there's a war going on over here. Oh, well, looky here, here's World Kitchen. Jose Andres and his folks are over there, making up food and feeding people. There's people coming through, neighbors helping neighbors. There's a fire going on. Well, everybody's trying to help everybody else, take care of their animals or their homes or we help each other. Look for the helpers. Everywhere there's helpers, there's miracles. Miracles are going on all the time. And if you are living your life only looking for the helpers, only looking at the those who are bringing about love, who are bringing about goodness, instead of looking at all the things that we consider evil, or the cause of all the problems, even then, my gosh. Why do people cause problems? People don't cause problems because they're having a happy life. People cause problems because they see it as a solution to a problem that they have already. And it's just compounding problem upon problem. But the reality of it is, if we just looked for the love, looked for the helpers, became the helper, well, that old I'm here only to be truly helpful. Oh boy, what a thought, huh? So be truly helpful, and start looking for the helpers and being a helper. That doesn't mean you have to go over to um, Gaza and feed people. There's lots of other things that you can do. Just being here and being love, just extending love when when you could be, doing something else. That's a miracle. Glorian, please, love to hear what you have to say.
Yes, thank you, Lynn. Look at the helpers along the way you travel, happy in the certainty of heaven and the surety of peace. Those are the reflections of love's presence. And the reason that we see them is because we've accepted the miracle, that shift from fear to love, and are looking at the world from true perception, right-mindedness, miracle-mindedness. And by the way, I think the next paragraph is what you referenced earlier, Lynn, about pure hate. I think it's the cruel hate. I think that's what the next paragraph that you referenced earlier.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that, Glorian. Yes, you know, I mean, this is, of course, you know, we're all helpers. Everyone who comes here is a helper. Everyone who comes here, you know, all we want is the best. All we want is to see the love and to experience the miracle. So that's that's you know, if that's what we want, that's what we'll have. If you're not experiencing the miracle, it's because you don't really want the miracle. And that sounds really rude, but it's true. You know, he tells us if you're not hearing the voice for God, it's because you don't want to hear it. You know, it's the same thing with the miracle. You know, we think we want the miracle, but we don't want to let people off the hook. We don't want to see innocence where we would prefer to see guilt. Absolutely prefer to see guilt. You know, it's not, it's completely the opposite of what Jesus is asking us to do here. Uh, Glorian, go ahead.
Oh, I just didn't take my hand down.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Okay. All right, I'll take it down. Okay, so yeah. So let's look at paragraph number 8. Who would like to read that paragraph?
Well, can I make a quick comment on what you just said, if I may?
Absolutely. Oh, sure.
It's
Okay.
basically, it was, I heard it, I guess from John Mundy, and he's talking about Gurdjieff, and he's saying you have to seek it and you have to want it, basically to wake up. And so how do you do that? You have to stay the course. You stay on course. You keep on going, keep on trucking. So like even if you do keep turn to the news or you're watching a hockey game and we're attracted to guilt. That's the attraction of guilt. I see this vicious and fine. Oh, there's a big fight going on now. You know, it's exciting and it's just an attraction. So basically, we've got to recognize that. You know, what am I really wanting? You know, do I want to wake up? Do I want to live in the miracle world, the miracle dream, the happy dream? Do I really want it? But it does take work and to be working on it. And so it's, and I just want to acknowledge all, you know, the environment that we're in right now is super powerful to in support of that. So maybe if you're looking for somebody to read it, number 8, I'll do that if you want, and if there's nobody else.
No, that's great. Please read. And then you're right. Please read number 8. And let's see what did Elizabeth just write in the chat. Let me look real quick before we go on. All right. She says, I prefer not to see disaster, repairs, fires, ambulances, storms, tears of any kind, not a stress to deal with anywhere or any situation, event, relationship, or environment. Not one bump in the road, a stubbed toe, or crack to repair in the sidewalk. I prefer, well, you know, and the fact is, you're not seeing those things for real. What you're seeing is the outpicturing of a story, a drama. So you know, it's not really happening. That's what's the beauty of all of this is that, you know, this is a story that we wrote a long time ago. It's a movie, you know, I mean, I don't like to go to a horror movie. I'm not going to go see a horror movie. I don't like to see a movie where people get hurt. I don't want to see a movie where people are unhappy or have a difficult time. It's hard to find a movie that doesn't have any conflict in it. Most times people will not go and see a movie unless it's got some terrible conflict in it. That's because, as you were saying, John, it's an attraction to guilt. We're we're attracted to it. We want to see it. We want to see the bad guy. So, you know, watch Law and Order, watch the criminal, watch him get caught, watch him you know, go to jail. Ding ding. You know, I mean, we are attracted to that. We want to see that. No matter that somebody there has to be a crime first. Oh, excuse me. Brooklyn, please.
Woody Allen movies. They're the best. They always leave you feeling so good. Whenever I go to my family, we watch a Woody Allen movie. The music's amazing, and there's always a happy ending. That's the kind of movies I like.
Yeah, yeah. Movies where unusual things happen, but not terrible things. But that's not the world. Now the world just wants to see the most terrible things. So,
Yeah, I always say to my sister-in-law, why watch something you can see in the news? I say, put on a happy, something that makes you feel good. Woody Allen is amazing. He's a genius.
yeah, absolutely true. And I agree with you. There are some things that we, that do bring about joy and are not filled with conflict. But there's always some little conflicts that go on, or else it wouldn't be an interesting story. Something has to go wrong, or it wouldn't be an interesting story.
Of
And
course,
I mean
for
that's,
storage.
but there has to be a hero, and there has to be a villain or victim, or something. So, but I mean, that's what entertains the ego, is to see all of these things. So, don't, you know, it's all the same. That's what I think. It's all the same thing.
But you can laugh with Woody Allen,
Yes,
and you gotta laugh, right, Todd?
exactly. Dove says that. So John, I know this sounds really crazy, but did you read the paragraph?
I'd love to read the paragraph, and I read
Okay, I was like, I don't think John read the paragraph yet. Yes, please go ahead,
this is
sir.
important because we don't want to start with this one next week because but this kind of winds it up there perfectly because it speaks directly to all of us who've had these experiences, especially the traumas when we were young people. This was the ego, all the cruel hate, the need for vengeance, and the cries of pain, the fear of dying and the urge to kill, the brotherless illusion, and the self that seemed alone in the universe. This terrible mistake about yourself, the miracle corrects as gently as a loving mother sings her child to rest. Is not a song like this what you would hear? Would it not answer all you thought to ask, and even make the question meaningless? Wow. Amen. Wow.
Amen. Thank you for that, John. And yeah, this was the ego. This was the ego. And anybody have any comments on this? This terrible mistake about yourself?
Thank God when we realize it's not us.
Yeah.
One thing I know about mistakes. The reason they put rubbers on the back of pencils is because people make mistakes and we can rub it out. So we just need to recognize this is only a mistake. Yeah, and I did have a mother, and she did love me, and oh, there were so many, and or a wife or a spouse who loved me, and blah blah blah. And there's love all around us. There's miracles all around us. If we're looking for them. Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, John. So what I was gonna say, there is coming up at this time, I'm just waiting for it to come up here. The New Light Temple's Interfaith Monthly Service is on tonight. And if anybody wanted or was planning to attend that and was going to be leaving us to go attend that, you're definitely welcome to do so. If people want to stay and keep doing this for another 30 minutes, we're likely to do that as well. This is the meeting that I think Bud James was talking to us about.
What is it, Liz? What is it? I didn't hear you.
It's the New Light. It's the New Light Temple Interfaith Monthly Service, um, and it is centering in contemplation. And
Oh,
oh, you know what? It doesn't start till 7:30. Okay. Oh no, it started already. It's past 7:30 now. Oh, so we're missing it anyways. Okay.
All right.
All right, that's cool.
There are no mistakes.
There are no mistakes. Yeah. Gloria had just sent me the link to it, and I said that I would probably go, but I'm happy with us now. So do you guys want to go on for a little while or it's up to you.
Gloria and John have already gone.
Yeah, they left. Yeah, because they went over to that other meeting, which I thought started now.
Let's go over to the other meeting. We can all be late together.
You want us all to jump?
Yeah, can I
Jump in?
can I have the link? I'm gonna go
Yeah.
late, so.
Okay, let me get the link and I'll put it in the
But sometimes
chat.
they have music or, sometimes it doesn't really start till now anyway.
Yeah, that could be very true too. All right, so all right. All right, and I'm gonna put the link in the chat here.
Okay, well, I'll see you guys. I'm gonna ditch you all then.
Okie dokie. All right, so there's the link.
Thank you.
And I'm going to stop the live stream and we'll start back again next week with paragraph 9. We might read paragraph 8 again. All right, you guys.
Love us. Mwah.
Love to you all.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh no.
What's
Oh, I
that?
got it.
Oh.
No, I'm here. I was just like, oh no, I clicked out and I didn't get the link, but I got it. It's all good.
Did
I
you-
got it. Thank you.
Okay.
See you there.
All right. Bye-bye, sweetie. Did y'all get the link?
Bye.
I got it.